Okay, welcome back after the break, guys. Let's continue with question 2.6.3. But the previous question, we discussed confluence of a river. Now, this where two rivers join, where the tributary joins the main river, and it's likely for the area to be experienced flooding over there. So if we go back to our diagram, we looked at confluence taking place over there. Now, we know this is in the lower course because we got a floodplain that's well developed over there, stream braiding taking place, as well as a very gentle gradient. But we know that this area is quite prone to flooding. So if we look at our next question, and the next question, give a reason why the trees on the banks of the river is important for flood control. Now, if we quickly go and identify the trees on the bank, is situated over there, as you can see on the bank of the river. It's quite a huge number of trees. Now, the first thing that comes up to mind, it's vegetation. Now, what does vegetation do? It promotes what? Infiltration. So the first thing that we can mention over here, the tree's roots will absorb some of the water. And we've looked at drainage density. A high drainage density is because there's a lack of vegetation. And a low density is when there's a lot of vegetation and it promotes infiltration. So the water will rather infiltrate than run off. And lastly, it will slow the water down. Towards the flood plain. Now, our last question is once again a paragraph question. Now, please keep in mind you need to write this question in paragraph formation. I'm going to write it for you in bullet formation, but please, when you answer this question, write it in paragraph formation or else you're going to be penalized. Now, evaluate the role of irregular flooding in maintaining the health of a river and its surrounding floodplain. Now, very important, flooding is not always a bad thing. There's rules and regulations regarding where we should go and settle. Now, first of all, the role of flooding, the most important thing, it leads to deposits. It deposits fertile soil. Or silt on the floodplain. Now, there's an increase of water when a flood takes place. So we can also say with the increasing volume of water, it dilutes the amount of pollution. Now, a flood also removes waterborne diseases such as cholera, and it removes accumulated debris. Now, not only is it important for surface runoff, but also for underground runoff. What does it do? It then blocks the river mouth. And it also increases the water levels of our water tables. And lastly, what you've learned in grade 9, it can prevent eutrophication when there's an excessive growth of algae, what's currently happening in Hartbeespoort Dam, to happen. So on the end of the day, floods is not always a bad thing, and we can gain from flooding taking place. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you've learned something today, and I'll see you next time around. Thank you for watching. Cheers.